Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh, God.
Chubs gone wild.
Well, hey there, hi there, ho there. It's Wanda of Chubs Gone Wild, episode 548, recorded on June 25th, 2024. And I know you're saying, wait a minute, weren't you supposed to do a show on the 24th?
No, no one's wondering that.
What?
By the way,
They're not?
no one's wondering that. Whose birthday did we miss yesterday because of my surgery? That's the next part, right? Okay.
Not many. I think there was like one person.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. But no, yeah, okay. I'm sure there's some hardcore fans that have it in their calendar and they're wondering.
Except you don't usually post it on Monday anyway. You usually post it Wednesday or Thursday. So they're thinking we're doing it on Thursday.
Don't post it on Wednesday. I posted it on Monday or Tuesday, very faithfully for quite some time. Now there have been times when I have been late, but
all right,
just
saying, okay,
we're on time because people need to hear your voice and know you're okay.
Yeah.
Hmm? Oh, by the way, it's 97 degrees and sunny. Well, take that back. Yeah. It actually, when we were in I was in Walmart and I came out of Walmart and it started sprinkling on my head, like big drops. It was crazy.
But it's weird. The humidity isn't up.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I know it's good.
I opened my phone app and it's like, for the next 12 minutes, experience rain. I'm like, that's a little weirdly accurate, but it didn't. It was like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but when I was in New Orleans a few years ago, every time a cloud would pass over, you'd get like just a few droplets, and then your whole body would just sweat a little bit more.
That sounds awful.
It was, and that's why people go out at night in New Orleans, is that it's still warm, but they don't have that sun beating down on them, and yeah, it's just because that brings the temperature. That makes the pavement hotter. It makes the top of your head hot. It's just horrible.
No, thank you. I'm not a muggy weather person. I don't see myself ever wanting to move to Florida or anything like that. So,
well, that's not the only reason, but sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. It is 9 days until Independence Day, 128 days till Halloween, and only 183 days until Christmas. We're over halfway there, people. Get your wrapping paper out. It's going to be a good time. And, well, then there's Christmas too. You can get wrapping paper out for that as well. No?
Yeah, that we're exactly 6 months away from Christmas.
Woohoo! Yay! It makes me happy. Well, I'm more of a fall, autumn, Halloween-ish person, but I do like my Christmas. All right. Patreon offers folks a way to support creators like us and receive rewards not open to the general public, like my Life in Fragments podcast, books, videos, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons: Clint, Nephi, Nick, Dude Just Sausage from Steven the Boss, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Brother Sinadis, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose Pate. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to find out how you can support our work for as little as $1 a month. And just an update, the poetry book is coming along, and I'm hoping to have that out for y'all soon. But I have been posting a few previews of it, and I just want to thank everybody for the feedback on the ones I've been posting. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Today's affirmation. You ready for this one?
So do you think you're going to be the new poet laureate of Sacramento?
I'm doing work with the old one, so who knows? But I doubt it. I don't think I have the that fortitude to go do all
Yeah,
that.
you kind of have to be on display all the time too. So
Yeah.
that's not much your thing. So
No, I just like kind of stick it out there and say, here you go. If you want to read it, read it.
oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
Well, let's see. Today's affirmation. I go to work today with joy and gratitude, and life takes good care of me. I like that one. That's very nice.
Well, that's how I am.
Yep. You go to the couch every day with gratitude and feeling good, and it's all lovely. So lovely. All right. Today in history, on June 25th, 1876, Native American forces led by Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull defeated the U.S. Army troops of Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer in the Battle of Little Big Horn near South Montana's Little Big Horn River. And that happened many years ago today. All right. Well, let's see if we celebrated any birthdays today, or I mean any those things, not birthdays. We're not there yet. All right. Today, holidays. There we go. That's the word. It is Bourdain Day. How do you feel about that?
Well, this is his birthday. So
Oh, Anthony Bourdain. Yeah, a lot of interesting things. So, also it's Color TV Day. Do you have a color TV?
have a color TV.
All right, that's good. We've
So
celebrated
so
that.
do you, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I also had a
Today,
black and white TV. Did you?
did I? Oh yeah, we had the little old black and white. We had one that looked like it was in the shape of a space helmet, like
Yeah.
yeah. If we had one of
Why?
those,
I remember
it
those, but
was
why?
it was a little one that my mom had, and back then it was chic and cool, and yeah.
Yeah, for kids. That's what they got kids.
Well, it was the one that was in her room. So I
Okay.
remember sitting on her bed watching Sonny and Cher on it, Sonny and Cher show, and
Wait,
just
that's in living color though. How can you watch that?
hmm?
How could you watch it? It was filmed in color.
Well, strangely enough, black and white TVs. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But I always thought that. Oh, and what was the other one? Donnie, the Osmonds, Donnie and Maria Osmond. I
I'm
remember
sorry.
watching that show on there too, and Shamana. When you're a kid, it's all very entertaining.
Well, my very first color TV was, I think it was, I want to say it was 1966.
mm,
And what happened was we were in the Azores, off the coast of Portugal, and
wow.
we had been hearing about the color TV, and so when we moved back to California, my dad goes, "First thing we're going to do is get ourselves a color TV,"
That's
and
cool.
it was great. But
Oh,
yeah, because all of a sudden it's like it was weird because half the TV programs had not been made in color yet. So
yeah,
especially oddly enough, like a lot of the comedies, which you think would be easier because that was on video, a lot of it was on video at that time. But then
mm,
again, actually, a lot of them weren't on video at the time. A lot of them were like Gilligan's Island and
right.
uh, Beverly Hillbillies, those kind of things. So and Petticoat Junction, yeah, they were not filmed in front of a live audience. I why they when that stopped and when it started again.
Mm.
Because remember, like Norman Lear was big into all his shows were live.
Yeah.
And then in the 50s, which I only know because of the I read it somewhere, not because I
Huh.
was watching it in those days, but back in the 50s, they all everything was live.
Yeah.
But then remember Hazel was um that was not live. The Leave It to Beaver wasn't. None
Mm.
of those were. That was weird. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
going on about nothing.
Bewitched wasn't live either.
Right.
Yeah. Um, yeah, we had the little, like I said, the little space up in mom's room, and then down in the kitchen at the end of the table, we had this square color one, and it was one of those ones that's like about this big for the actual screen, and then it had to have like this extra side of just like huge junk to make it work and be color. And then we had one of the big ones in uh, the living room, but it only worked occasionally. So sometimes they'd plop me there and make me watch Andy. Like when you're sick, you sit on the couch and you watch Andy Griffith and shit. But anyway, all right. Day of the Seafarer. Nope. Global Beatles Day. Didn't know they had global Beatles. It's weird. Are you a Beatles fan?
I appreciate a lot of their music
Mhm.
and I like a lot of their music, but I was never really a Beatles fan because that was my brother. And since he was the Beatles fan and I hated him, why would I like his music? So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I same with me. I really appreciate the Beatles and then the what they did separate, when they were on their own and everything. But I don't have like that. I have to have, listen to it 20 times a day or something. Leon Day. And okay. And Mitch Lane Day. A lot of people day. Catfish. No, neither version of it, thank you. Uh,
Oh, okay.
National Police Community Cooperative Day. Okay. National Strawberry Parfait Day. Nope. Uh,
Wait, parfait, wouldn't that just be well, I guess it's ice cream
hmm,
and it's probably they're sugared and preserved kind of thing.
yeah,
I always think of strawberries as being fresh, but I don't think they are on ice cream.
no, I don't think so, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't have had any anyway.
I
Oh,
know. Strawberries are gross unless they're fresh.
mm, okay. I can do that. I can go with that. World Vitiligo Day.
What is that?
Vitiligo, that's what Michael Jackson had.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
I actually dated a guy for a short time that had that.
Yeah, I only have I get I don't know if it's an old man thing, but I when I get sun, I get spots on my forearms that don't tan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, well, there's that. Next up, we have the birthdays. Let's see. Let's open this little sucker here and find out if we have any wonderful birthdays today. Yes, today's birthday. Happy birthday to Charles, to author Jeff Adams, um, actor Mark Sacco, who
It
starred.
is it oh is that Naked Charles?
No, no.
Okay.
This is actually Clint's family.
I just love Naked Charles though.
I know, yeah.
He's
Um,
just so free. I
yeah.
envy
Like
him.
here it is, and here's
Yeah.
a picture of it.
Yeah,
I admire that actually.
I do too. I wished I could be less, I don't know,
Independent.
and prudy. It's just
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
But no, I'm not too prude because it's I don't mind other people doing it. So
Right.
yeah, I'm just shy. Oh, should I go into Shy from Once Upon a Mattress? That's a song.
Yeah, I'm trying to
She's
remember it.
singing about how she can't, she's about around being other people. It's just she's so shy. And
Wow, I'm not
that's the
remembering.
big song. Are you kidding? Carol Burnett used to do it all.
I'm gonna have to go
Um,
back and watch it because I'm not remembering that.
yeah.
I'm just remembering the '80s song to Shy Shy. Hush,
Okay, yeah.
eye to
It's
eye.
not the same
It's
thing.
very different.
Yes.
Okay, also to actor Mark Sacco, who was in the recovery mode that I wrote, based off of Matthew Crean Higgins' life experiences. He was in that back in the New York version, the Buffalo version. Also, Cindy Davis, who was in
My Play
Opening
twice.
Lines. Yes, both times.
Yeah, her birthday was yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
excellent. And also yeah, no, never mind. That was yesterday's. And then coming up, happy birthday to Jonathan Richard Hank, author Hank Edwards. We have local podcast and radio personality Bob Roberts, who have you been to any of the burlesque shows? That's the kind of gore drag stuff that goes on down here. And you are frozen.
You're frozen.
There you are.
Frozen.
So did you hear anything
Yeah.
I said?
Have you ever been?
Okay, so have you ever been to the gorelesque, the gore drag shows that happen about once a month?
No.
Okay, so I think you'd actually probably really like it. But anyway, Bob Roberts, he hosts that. Um, Also to Tom, formerly known as Tom in Thailand, on his podcast. We have Alan, Sharon. Oh, Sharon. Now she was one of the hosts with you in Being Gay Today, in its latter incarnation. We also have Kelso. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Jaina. Is it Jaina?
I'm not sure. I can't see it.
Well, she's your friend.
Oh, it's
So, yeah.
okay. She won't remember. It's fine.
All right. Anyway,
Actually, I did get 2 video calls at strange times where I'm sure it was, well, it's not really a butt dial, but there was no reason for the call. Yeah.
it was like 1 or 2 a.m. and I was going to bed, and all of a sudden I started getting a call, a FaceTime call, and it was from Xavier Toscano, who is a singer and performer. And I was like, okay, I'm not picking up because this has to be a butt dial because
Yeah.
nobody that famous is going to be calling me. And later on, he sent me a message saying, oops, sorry. I was like, not a problem. Okay, Viva la chanson. Also to James, and posthumously, as he passed a few years ago, Theron. Then we have Gary, and that whore, I will call him a whore, known as the Freak Geek, Mr. Craig. His birthday is coming up, formerly of the Royal Pains and the Freak Geek podcast. Then we have Alan. Happy birthday, Alan. And then, of course, we have author Rick R. Reed, and Michael, Big Chaser Michael. So their birthdays are coming up. Happy birthday, everybody. Yeah. All right. Well, where are we now? Oh, we're at our feed bag. We have nothing in our feed bag.
Oh no.
Gonna let us go hungry. I know. Well, yeah, that's okay. I'm sure that we'll have one next time. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. And then I want to send Chub hugs out to Timothy, who sends us
It's a
all these
picture.
amazing. What's that?
Sorry, I was just talking while you were frozen.
Oh, okay. And then our Timothy, who sends us all the wonderful Hey Chubs questions. Just want to send a shout out to him. Say thank you very much for doing that because he's coming up with some
I wonder,
great questions.
you're frozen again. So you're we're hugging him for the questions.
Yes, Queen.
Well, it's also for all the great thing. He sends me stuff all the time. Oh, you should see this. I really appreciate that, and I've gotten some really fun stuff out of that. So
Yeah,
very much appreciate it.
in fact, he sent us one today.
Yeah, have you looked at it yet?
No, I haven't had a chance.
Yeah, I have neither. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Then we have anyway, that was my main Chub hug. And of course, to you for your surgery and your recovering. And yeah. Oh, also to my friend Shafina. Now, interestingly enough, when I was at the dentist, she was at the dentist where she was getting a deep cleaning, and she sent me a picture of herself, and she had like all this numbing sticks and everything coming out of her mouth. It was scary, but yeah. How about you?
First of all, probably let's say everyone who's experiencing weather that they're not happy with across the country, because they've got floods going on in Texas.
Yeah.
They rains down in Florida, and then a heat wave in the Midwest that is equal to ours, but the difference is we're used to it,
right.
and we don't have the humidity like they do.
Oh,
Our humidity today is 20%. Oh, let me see if I can find out what New York's is real quick. I have it on my phone. So I always like to know what my favorite places are weather-wise. I'm just seeing. Okay, New York's only 91 today, but that's 91 with where is it? Where's the humidity? Oh, only 31% humidity, so that's not too bad. Because that humidity is what we were talking about that earlier. It's what gets you.
Yes.
It's the sun coming down on you and the humidity mixed together is why people pass out when they're walking down the street.
Yeah, the only two that I really keep track of now, of course, is ours, and then Houston, so that I can see what's going on with Nephi because Houston and Texas have just had some horrible
Horrible. Yeah.
and storms. Like they've not his trees have gotten knocked down, all sorts of damage and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, and but today it's merely hot and humid there, so that's good. Okay. Next up, a couple stories for you. The Supreme Court announced it will hear a gender care case on a ban on gender affirming care for trans minors in Tennessee. The case concerns 3 families affected by the 2023 gender affirming care ban. The bill restricts all gender-affirming care for transgender minors, imposing civil penalties on doctors who don't follow it. The Supreme Court will decide on this case in the fall during the presidential election. The decision may spell bad news for trans children and their doctors. This case depending on how the Supreme Court rules, will determine the fate of gender-affirming care bans in states across the country, with the potential to affect other transgender rights issues. Fuckers.
I know, and watch, then it's going to be gay and lesbian teachers again, and then just
stepping back. Even most of the Republicans have just been like, move on, we don't care anymore, until now MAGA is making them all, no, we hate the gays, we swear. Russian transgender politician forced to detransition or get sent to a psychiatric hospital. They asked the Russian Supreme Court if they had the right to exist, and they responded that they don't make decisions. And so they were forced to detransition and then do a public apology to the Russian people. So I don't get it. I don't get Russia. Okay, moving on. So while we do have some, sadly, celebrity deaths, starting with Seth Shifty Shellcock Binzer, the Crazy Town lead singer, died in Los Angeles in his residence June 24th. He was 49. Sarah Becker, the Real World star, died by suicide in June, following mental health struggles. Taylor Wiley, the Hawaii Five-0 actor, passed away at the age of 56. Donald Sutherland, the legendary actor, died June 20th after a long illness. Willie Mays, the former San Francisco Giants player and Hall of Famer, died on June 18th at the age of 93. Some big hitters there.
Yeah, I don't think he ever played in San Francisco, but he was in the New York Giants. But the Giants did celebrate him this week during his death here in San Francisco. I guess it's like the Kings used to be. I can't remember where they used to be, but they were from somewhere else, and so you keep their history. So yeah.
Well,
at least it's not as many as last week. That's a plus.
But Willie Mays and Donald Sutherland, I mean, those are two
biggies,
big stars. All right, now Tom wants to talk to you about.
Oh shit, it's me. Okay, let me get my thing up. I know. I need a Viagra for that. Okay, here we go. Okay. I was watching Dinner with David Chang last week. It's live on Netflix on the West Coast at 4:00 on Tuesdays, so you can actually watch it live if you want. But last week they had the stars of Emily in Paris. Have you watched Emily in Paris?
No, I don't know why, but I kind of had an aversion to that.
I know, me too. It looks like something I would have watched, but I didn't and never have. And their upcoming fourth season starts in August. So they had two of the stars on, and all they did was giggle and talk to each other. And he's trying to make them dinner and interact, and they were spending so much time giggling, and it was just like, oh my God, they are the worst guests so far. The worst.
Wow.
Because I've seen all of them. It's because it's usually a comedian and then someone else, and occasionally they've had like two sports people on together, but they were interesting. But these girls, oh God, it's the reason I don't go back to the Merc, because they're there and they're always there giggling and having a good time at my expense. So anyway, RuPaul's Drag Race this week they did. Oh, we'll talk about that later.
I haven't caught up, so go ahead and talk about it.
Well, they do scene work with RuPaul, where each of them gets a famous movie that takes place in a bathroom, and it's the thing's called Conversation in the Ladies' Room. So it was. Let's see. I'm trying to think of it. It was Showgirls. There was All About Eve. There was the big movie about the models and the actresses and the singers in the late 60s, Valley of the Dolls. But they had Boys in the Band was one. So they had all these different scenes. No.
That is one of the most iconic gay drag things. Coco.
Yeah. And it took place. Yeah, I know, but they were looking to make it more about them and less about the particular movie.
Okay,
yeah,
because
kind of
that is just iconic.
yeah. I started a new show. Anyway, it was fun. It was cute, and it was Angeria and oh God, I can't think. Nikki, not Nikki. Nikki, who's the big girl? You're watching the show.
Oh,
The one who played in Hairspray, toured in Hairspray. I've completely gone blank.
oh,
Yes,
shit,
yes,
yeah, Nikki.
yes. It,
Yeah, I know who you mean.
yeah, I know. Okay. Anyway, so they won, and so it was good. It was good. They all got their badges. So fun. New show I started. I don't know if I'll watch any more of it.
Mhm.
Is called The Goat. Thank you, Timothy. It's hosted by Daniel Tosh,
Mm,
which is honestly the only reason I will continue to watch the show. Although there is a couple cute guys, but everybody on the show is a reality star. They've got someone from the Food Channel. They got someone from Survivor, Big Brother, Shaws of Sunset, the Real Housewives. So they're all these people, and and the GOAT is to find out who's the greatest um, reality star. And it was, and some of these people you just want to like bang your head against the wall. Honestly, yeah. Um, so we'll see what happens. Top Chef finished, and
Ricky Lake.
what?
Ricky Lake?
No, no, no,
Really?
no.
Okay.
This is the drag queen that has gone into that's on the show. Come on, catch
Gotcha.
up, girl.
Gotcha.
Catch up.
Okay.
My God. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Moving on. Now, did you watch Top Chef? Have you caught up yet?
No, I haven't watched anything since episode 3.
Okay. Well, let's just say the person I thought was going to be one of the two possible winners at the very beginning won, and I'll leave it at that. So,
Cool. Okay.
let's see. This I don't know what the show's called, but it's a they bring all these American bakers to Paris, and whoever wins gets gets a French kitchen or something like that. I don't know what
Ooh.
yeah. And but anyway, it was kind of interesting. It's all about baking and stuff. So, and Robert ended up winning that, who was kind of second place for a lot of the time, and then the last couple weeks, the last couple episodes, he just kind of
Yeah.
flew through. So that was good. And it's funny because Chow House, they had they finished as well this week, and it ended up going to Ivan. And if anybody's like, which one's Ivan? He's the one that's so sweaty it's uncomfortable to watch.
Okay.
He had let's say he had on a shirt that was definitely baggy, and by the time he finished cooking, it was stuck to him.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. I put it down as the Chow House finale. Sweaty Ivan wins. So, and in that one, he gets to tour Italy, and they've got him set up to work with all these Italian chefs up and down Italy. From Sicily all the way up to the top of the boot. And so he's going to get this training by all these Italian, famous Italian chefs. So that's kind of a really cool thing. Anyway, Real World we finished as well. It was season 3, so we got to see Pedro get married. But it the final episode where they all left
Yeah.
aired, and the day after that, Pedro died.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had on Real World, they had they've got listed that there was a salute to Pedro episode, but that's not included on the regular season. So I don't know where that is. But anyway, Real World, God, I mean, it actually changed the views of a lot of young people at that time.
Mhm.
Yeah, and when I say young, because Real World was watched not by strictly by 20 somethings, it was watched by kids. It was
Yeah.
MTV,
Yeah.
and so a lot of people got, Pedro was one of the first, not just gay people, but persons with HIV or AIDS that they'd
Right.
ever seen past a news program or something.
Mhm.
So anyway, finished them. See, I've got next week. I'm going to have nothing to talk about. I finished them. It was really interesting. This is the one that season 2. It's on Prime, and it had the predominantly black cast. And the season 2 was about this female detective who's searching for a serial killer. And it turns out at the end of the show, the serial killer was her twin brother who had actually died years before, but he was coming after people who were twins, looking to get to her. Finally getting to her. It was bizarre. And at the end, we find out, yes, she goes, oh my God, I had a twin and this is him. And then she finds out and they were adopted. She finds out that the family that they were adopted from was the family from the first episode or first season. So this horror has been following the family around for years.
Oh, okay.
So and so they left it kind of open. I don't know if there's going to be a season 3, but now because it was like a M. Night Shyamalan thing where you're like going, okay, this isn't an independent episode. This is our season. This is completely a sequel, following the same storyline. And then they
Right.
closed it up in the last like 20 minutes of the program. It was really interesting how they did that. And it was so creepy because what happened was the killer would when he was a boy, he would hide under the sink in the kit under the kitchen sink and hope that the people that were raising him wouldn't find him.
Mhm.
And so when he killed people, he folded them up so by breaking their bones so that they could fit underneath the kitchen sink. So that's where he could hide things. Is it weird, huh? Really
Yeah.
weird. Anyway, couple days ago, I watched a few episodes of Mod, because what they were teasing me, and with the Mod goes to a gay bar, and I thought, okay,
Yeah.
I'll watch that. And it was interesting because it was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Not and every and I know people will watch that and go, wow, I didn't realize that B. Arthur. No, not B. Arthur. Mod.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Mod from 1973.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing?
Drinking my Diet Coke.
Oh, okay. It was weird. It was very
I was
weird.
2 years old when that episode aired.
Right. But and at that point you weren't even gay, so
Well,
yeah, I know. Anyway, so then I watched the pilot.
My mom said she knew when I was 4.
Then I watched the second episode, and then I thought I was watching the next episode, but I ended up watching some episode that was much later. Oh, and I also watched the All in the Family episode where Maude first was introduced. So I had kind of a Maude day, but it was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
This week, Arnie Tex, he's YouTube, the Mexican guy who's always showing how to make great Mexican food. This week, he made party beans and enchiladas with strip steak.
Wow.
And I know you're thinking, what the hell's a party bean? And that just means it's a fancy kind of bean recipe, not really fancy, but it's a bean recipe that you would take to parties, kind of like when you funeral potatoes,
Oh, okay.
that you only take to funerals or to parties. No one ever makes those kind of themselves.
Yeah.
This is stuff you take there. And I've got a few things that I never make, but I definitely, I think I'll make that today. But there's things I make that I take to parties.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so he's just silly fun. And he always, like, if he likes something, instead of, like bam, or like, how they have their little catchphrase, his is
Mm.
"Woo, wee, ow, wah," and he punches the air and stuff. He's really funny, and I enjoy. And it's interesting, like I saw quesadillas last week, and it was interesting the way he made the quesadilla. He didn't fold it over. He
Hmm.
just what he did was he cooked it with the cheese, slammed another tortilla on it, and flipped the whole thing that way, and then cut it into 6 instead of into 3 pieces.
Huh.
So I thought, okay, that's really interesting. And I learned that, you can't have too much cheese on a quesadilla.
Uh-huh.
See, for me, I don't like a lot of cheese
Yeah.
anyway, so it can be a lot, but yeah. And then I made them, and Sean's like, wow, these are really good. And I go, yeah, well, I'm learning from Arnie. Um, let's see, Chow House. Well, I told you Chow House. Have you watched the new Akaladi? The new
Acolyte. No,
yeah.
I have not watched any of the things that we usually watch together.
Okay. Well, the 4th episode was better than the 3rd episode, just let you know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I started the summer baking contest. I watched it last night,
Yeah.
and honestly, I can't tell you anything that happened. I've got to go back and watch it. I
Yeah.
know.
No, I know
Yeah,
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
and you're not caught up with the boys, so
Yep.
let's just say thank you for you got now. Which one did you like more or dislike more? I know how you hate this, but in the boys thing, there was the second episode. What was the thing that everybody was doing, and everybody was like dying? There were a lot of people being killed. I can't. Oh, it was no. The third one was the ice capades.
Yeah, that was the one that got me.
That
I mean,
I
like,
was
yeah.
I was laughing so hard, because first of all, those of you that aren't watching The Boys, but it's about superheroes or
Mhm.
super villains more so.
Yeah,
And so and it's right now, it's in a Trumpian state that they're living in,
which
and
is
Homelander,
horrible.
who's the lead guy, is very much like a Trump character.
Mm.
And so they're having an ice capades where it's a Christmas ice capades, and it's Christmas, not happy holidays, Mr. Jewish person, not happy Hanukkah, Mr. Jewish person. It's Merry Christmas, and if you can't say that, don't say anything at all. And so they had this ice capade of Jesus's birth, and so one of the girls that used to be in the Seven, she's starring in this, and at one point, um, Homelander accidentally cuts her in half with his
Uh-huh.
laser beams, so she falls apart on the ice, and everyone starts screaming. And as they're running, they're falling, and fingers are being cut off with the blades, and they're jumping over the side to get away because they're so afraid, and their blades on their skates are cutting throats. And it was bloody goodness. It was really so
And
much
then
fun.
the whole thing just blows up.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah, it was pretty intense, but that's the one that actually, like, I'm going, okay, that something's got to happen. Something has to happen, and then sure enough, it
yeah.
did.
Yeah, so good time. They have some fun in episode 4, but nothing quite like episode 3. Not
Yeah,
yet.
I'm looking forward to catching up. It's one of those things where the show is just a little too gross in that area for me, but at the same time, it's the boys, so I've kind of gotten used to it. So I'm like, okay, I'll just squeamish my way through it. But yeah,
And
the way that they've gotten they're doing the Trump stuff on there and paralleling it is actually kind of, I mean, it's genius, and yet at the same time it's like actually giving me a little anxiety because it just
so
sucks. Go
yeah,
ahead.
so I've seen the first 2 episodes of House of Dragons,
Okay,
and
I'm not
and
caught
it
up on that
is
yet.
it is so god damn beautiful.
Really?
The
Okay.
Yeah, I'm paying more attention to the costumes and the sets than I am to, the actual storyline. Although storyline's it was quite compelling so far. The first episode, not so much. This episode, well, at the end of the first episode, some major thing happens, and then and the second episode is all the retaliation that was starting because of that. And yeah, it's good actually, but oh my god, there's this one uh of the twin babies. The
Uh-huh.
mother is holding a blanket, and the blanket is gorgeous. It's like, oh my god, somebody made, it's like a like beautiful with all this. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just you
Okay.
watch second episode when the mother's standing there holding the blanket, and they kind of pan up the blanket, which I thought was interesting. And I'm like going, "Ooh, is this a dress or something?" And it was just one of the kids' blankets. And I'm like, "Oh my god, this show! No wonder it takes 2 years for them to get another episode. They're too. That's what it takes just to sew everything."
Yeah.
So I saw 4 movies this week. Um,
Mhm.
the first one was Supercell, which is basically a ripoff of Twister.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Okay.
and so much a ripoff that at one point the it's about this guy who was killed. He was a storm chaser. He was killed, and now his son is old enough, and he's looking into his dad. His dad's name is Bill. I think it was Brody, or yeah, Brody. Bill
Okay.
Brody. So he's on the computer, and we're looking at the computer screen. He puts in Bill, and the picture of Bill Paxton pops up,
Yeah.
and then he puts in the B, and then it's his dad. So it's like, okay, they're really trying to rip off the show.
Right.
But me, I love a good disaster movie, and there, even though the effects weren't, well, the story wasn't great, the effects were pretty decent. I love disaster movies. I really do. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So do I.
then I saw Monkey Man on another. Supercell was on. Oh God, I don't know what it was on. But Monkey Man was on Peacock, and this is Dev Patel. He directed, wrote it, produced it. Um, Stars in it, and it is about this young man who is trying to get his shit together, and he's kind of he's not really getting it together. He's a thief, but he's got other things. He wants to be a boxer. He's got all these things. He wants to seek revenge on the man who killed his mother.
Mm.
And it all takes place in India, and he's a lot of it is, you won't like it because it's very boysish. There's a
Oh.
lot of blood. That it's kind of a poor Indian man's whatchamacallit, John Wick.
Okay.
So he wants to be a great boxer as well, but he's not doing it very well until he's forced into it, and gets trained by the right people, and now he's a killing machine. So it was fun. I mean, it was. Sean hated it though. I don't know why he hated it, but then I saw Inside Out 2 at the
Oh.
theaters,
Yeah.
and this is I think, what was her name? Not Hillary. It was whatever her name is, the girl, Haley. Haley is she hits puberty, and all of a sudden these new emotions have moved in with the old emotions. So it's anxiety, embarrassment,
Depression.
depression. Yeah. So it was really cute show. And it's doing, finally Disney's got something that's doing really, really well.
Oh, good.
It's already the biggest movie of the year, and
Uh,
that's with Dune 2 out, and
wow.
I don't know if anything else has done well, but yeah, it's like at over $700 million in 2 weeks across the world. So, and it was over 100 million 2 weeks here, which is like unheard of anymore since the pandemic. And then the final movie I saw was on Apple TV, and it's not really a movie. It is it's a filmed musical called Come From Away, Come From Away. And this is a musical based on what happened when in Newfoundland when 9/11 happened and they wouldn't let planes land in the US. 38 planes got diverted to Newfoundland now because they had the that used to be the place where they would have to stop and get
Refuel.
gas
Yeah.
in the old days before they could carry enough fuel to do transatlantic. And so they put all these planes there. It ended up it was 9,000 people in a place that there was only 7,000 people to begin with. So it's where we put them, how do we feed them, how do we get them out of here, that kind of thing. And remember, they didn't let planes fly for, I think it was 4 or 5 days. It might even have been 7 days, but it was quite a few days. So it's a 12-person cast with a very minimal. Well, there's no set. There's just kind of a beautiful area, and then they have chairs and tables that they bring in for set work. And then those 12 people play some of the people on the airplanes, some of the people who live there. One plays one of the pilots, one plays a gay couple that were on their way to back home from Italy, and it's just all these different people, and the gay couple, one of the guys in the gay couples, also one of the people who lives there. He's also a person, the only person that has an accent that looks like he may be from one of those countries, the 9/11 countries. So is he a terrorist thing? So, and it's all done in music, and it is amazing. Anybody that has Apple TV that can see that, Come From Away, fantastic. It's a musical. It's less than 2 hours, I believe. I don't know if they even had an intermission in it, but it moves by so quickly. The songs are, they're dealing with grief, they're dealing with fear, they're dealing with community. Fantastic show. Great. Fantastic. I'm glad it was nominated for the Tony for Best Musical, because it certainly deserved it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. I remember hearing about it, and they used to do. I had seen some news reports about when that happened and stuff. So cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as for me, this morning I had an emergency dental appointment on Friday. My tooth, my back upper molar, just decided to take a big old chunk, and as I had bit into a chocolate chip, and it broke my tooth.
A chocolate chip?
Uh-huh.
One chocolate chip?
Yes, I have been, so I have been basically no carb, no sugar, or very low carb, no sugar for quite some time now. And I had made some brownies for my mother, and she didn't finish them, so I had a bite of them to taste and see how they came out. And they had been in the fridge, and a cold chocolate chip. I bit down on it, and my tooth broke. So, yeah. So that happened. So I got in. I called yesterday. They made me an appointment for today. I was very glad to get in. They basically took me in, they x-rayed me, they looked at me, and they said, okay, we're making you an appointment for a month from now to come back and get a filling and get it fixed. And then after that, we're going to set you up on a regime to completely transform your bombshell mouth into something pretty. So hopefully that can happen and get stuff done. But in the meantime, I have a jagged edge on my tooth that keeps cutting into my tongue. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Moving on from there, the other great big thing in my life that,
Frozen.
well, hopefully it'll still be recording both of us. Your internet
Well,
connection is unstable. Well, I can't help it.
yeah, because I'm not
I
getting
turned
that this
off the
time.
other computer to try to help with it, but whatever.
It's okay. I keep talking while you're frozen.
Good. That's pretty much how it is in real life too. But so the other thing is, I kept getting updates that my computer that they're discontinuing help for Windows 10, and my computer wouldn't take Windows 11, and I couldn't get my game updated. I didn't have enough space left to even do the minimal processing work and stuff for podcasts and things like that. And I just finally gave up and bought a new computer. Um, I was very fortunate that I found a computer. Well, Mr. Lurie Dean actually found it for me, but it's a mini PC, and it is
A mini what?
mini PC, personal
Okay.
computer. And it is like not only kind of like maybe twice as powerful as my current computer, at least memory wise and things like that. But it's expandable, so you can take it. Like, I mean, it is very modern, interesting, and it is literally this big. It is just like, and it's like 4 pounds, and it just sits like,
Now, is it a mini
it's
Mac?
amazing. No, no, no.
Okay, because that's what I had for
But it's kind of a PC version of that.
right. Well, mini Mac is just that you
I had one and I
yeah
loved it,
yeah,
but
they were fantastic because I hated the towers. They were
yeah,
just why is that here? Do we really need all this? And I
yeah,
ultimately found out we don't because
yeah,
I went from I had two Macs, mini Macs, and then I ended up with a Mac workbook,
yeah,
and now I'm just strictly iPad.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I had a Mac Mini at one point, and that's what I used to do a lot of design work for MGW on. So, but I loved it. But now I'm gotten to the point where I'm so PC entrenched that the cross-platforming just is would fry my brain at this point. But this is, I think it's going to be a really good computer. I was very fortunate. I was able to. It came with a discount, which was enough to cover all the taxes on it. Which, my mom had given me a gift card. I picked up a side job that covered like probably half the cost, and I took the other half from my writing money that I've been saving up in case of, things like this. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to do this. And but then comes the transition where you don't remember any password that you've ever had in the past year or two, and well, you have to figure them out as you're trying to duplicate your computer from one computer to the other.
Yeah,
And I
I
have
just went
both.
through
Go
I just
ahead.
went through that with the iPad.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Everything. And then half of them, I mean, I remember most of them,
Mhm.
but it was just, it's like, um, there were a couple that I'm like, why do I even need a password for this?
Uh-huh.
What is this? And uh, how many, how often have I changed these things? I don't know. I haven't had to go into my Netflix account, in 10 years. I
Yeah,
don't remember what it was 10 years.
right. And I have a couple of those that I have been just like all open so much that I mean, like, I have not even thought about that password in 5, 6 years now. Thankfully, I'm one of those people that usually whenever I have a new account for anything or I'm doing anybody's work or something like that, I have a document where I keep all of that information. But there have been a few accounts that I've been lazy and not put in there and have to fight to figure the fuck out and change passwords. And then if you do change a password, it then affects every device that you have all of that on, and you have to change the password on all of those. Ugh, it drove me crazy. So I'm still getting things settled on the new computer. So I have both up and running currently. I'm going to take my old one and clean it off from some of the programs, and I'm going to try to put it up where I can turn it into a scanning computer because I have a whole bunch of family photos and documents and stuff like that that I've been trying to scan in and you know, save and all that stuff. And I can kind of designate the other computers just for that. But anyway, so that's been crazy. I don't know if you heard of a show called Moonhaven. It was from several years ago and starred Dominic Monaghan or Monaghan. I think it's Monaghan, but I don't know. He was one of the little he was the cute little hobbit in you know in the Hobbitshire there. Anyway, and he was also in Lost.
Yeah, I
And
know who you're talking about.
yeah, he's in it. He's wonderful in it. He's adorable. Really like him. And he and the lead actress really made the show very good. However, well, it had 6 episodes, 1 season. It was not renewed. I was kind of sad that it was not renewed because I was kind of looking forward to finding out how, like, what happened. They left it with a cliffhanger. You're like, well, are there aliens on the moon or not? But as far as world building, the basic premise is that Earth is so bad that they send people to the moon and have them basically create a new utopia, gardens, water, air, just and everything. But it's like they're there for 100 years. And in that 100 years, even though they still have kind of contact between the moon and the earth, like the earth is still the earth, but in a much, more dystopian way. But on the moon, their language has changed. Oh, I had this thing and it watered over and flowered, and it's like they have different. I'm like, this is bad world building. Your science doesn't really make sense. Why the hell did this language develop when you're still connected to Earth? It's only 100 years. You're not gonna. Anyway, it was not good world building, and I can kind of see why they didn't want to bring it back, or especially put that much money into it. But it would have been interesting to see where it went. Anyway, so the only other thing that I watched this week is a show called For All Mankind. It is an Apple TV show. It had 4 seasons so far. There is a 5th season that they're going to be bringing out, and it basically the whole and this is actually good world building. They basically started it at the point where the Russians made it to the moon like first, like a few days or weeks or something before the Americans did, and then how it kind of changed history, and some of the presidents ended up being different, and gay rights got done earlier, and they made it to Mars, and they're colonizing Mars, and it's it's really interesting how they toy like John Lennon didn't actually die in the assassination attempt, so he went on to like do Live Aid, and it's kind of fun but crazy at the same time. Is there anything else I want to say about it? Really cute guys. At the end of each season, though, they kill off like the characters that I have come to love the most in it. But thankfully, they didn't do that in number 4. But it's literally one of those shows that sometimes I'm watching it and I'm thinking, this is so slow. Why did they, it's not Star Trek. It's why did they do this? Why did they greenlight this? And yet at the other times, the acting And some of the storylines are so good that you can't help but watch it. So anyway, I binged in the last 2 days. I binged season 3 and 4, and they're 10 episodes apiece. So it's that good. And there we go. Still working on publishing the poetry book, as I said before. And other than that, this week has just been kind of, I don't know, it's been kind of a lost week. Yeah, like you're yawning, and well, that's kind of how it is. That's been how it is. All right. So thank you for letting me catch up. I appreciate that. Now we're going to figure out. All right, you. We're gonna.
Advice.
Yeah, but I have an issue with that. Give me a moment, and it'll come back up. Okay, there we go. One moment, please. Okay, here we go. All right, this is actually an Am I the Asshole? About 5 years ago, my husband cheated on me and abandoned our family. It was an incredibly difficult time. I was left alone to raise my 11-year-old son. None of my family members offered any help or support. We were essentially on our own. The only person that helped us was my father, who was a great support system for us. When my father passed away, he left me a significant inheritance. This money allowed me to buy a house and provide a stable, comfortable life for my son and me. Since my husband left, my son and I have become very close. We've been through a lot together, and our bond is incredibly strong. I would do anything for him. Recently, some of my extended family members have fallen on hard times, given and asked if they could move in with us. Given our history, I was initially hesitant. I discussed it with my son, and he was very much against the idea. He remembers how nobody was there for us when we needed them the most, and feels strongly that they shouldn't benefit from our home now. Understanding his feelings and valuing his comfort, I decided to tell my family that they could F off, or that they couldn't move in with us. Now they're upset and accusing me of being selfish and ungrateful. They say I owe them support because we're family. I don't think I'm an asshole, and honestly don't care what they think as long as my baby is happy, but I still want to hear other people's opinions. So, am I the asshole for refusing to let my family move in because my son doesn't want them to, especially considering the way they treated us when we were the ones in need?
Well, first of all, you're not the asshole, but for that reason. But you are kind of an asshole blaming it on your son constantly. You didn't want them there either. So don't say my son said no. Because you're absolutely in the right to say no. If family doesn't mean shit. There's what I worry about is did you get a divorce from that man? And if you did, hopefully you did, because if he hears there's an inheritance, he's coming. You just know it. But as far as telling the family to fuck off, I would have.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a softer touch, and I may have let them stay for a while, but that's me. But I have been in this.
Well, don't worry, they wouldn't want to stay with you because you're a fag.
Oh, okay.
See,
Feelings mutual, girl.
no, that's what I'm
Anyway,
telling you. That's how you're letting the people that called you a fag move in with you.
well, actually,
And that they hate gay people, and you're all going to go to hell, but I need some place to stay, so I'll put up with your sin.
exactly, that's how it would be.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm saying fuck them.
But see, anyway, so I was in this situation that they were in when I was younger. When we ended up being homeless, we had friends and family that just completely shut us out, pretended they weren't home. Um, they're just like, no, we don't want to see you coming. We don't want to help you. We don't want to listen to you. We don't want to know you. And yet, before that, we were always the one that everybody came to when they needed something, when they needed, help or money or food or somewhere to stay or whatever. Our family was always the one that went out to help other family. And then they weren't there for us. And so I kind of understand this, and I'm kind of leaning to, yeah,
No, you're
maybe
gonna
you
let you
shouldn't blame the son. You don't want them there either, but you don't want them there. There you
don't.
go.
Yeah, I mean, and they'll come in and be judgeful. They'll be
Mhm.
horrible. You're gonna be sorry that you let the vampire into your house.
Well, and the thing is for me is like I'm okay to help somebody if and not I'm in that situation, but if somebody's like a friend or something like that, I will help, but there's got to be a limit of like, okay, you got to have a plan to get back on your feet and do whatever. Because yeah,
I'm too depressed. I'm just gonna sleep for a few weeks and see how I
because that's
feel.
how we ended up with my father for 7 years. So anyway,
Yeah,
uh,
thank you for making my point.
exactly. All right, this went all the way back there. All right. Hey, Chuck,
Hey, oh yeah.
Timothy wants to know Cheez-Its, Ritz, Wheat Thins, Triscuits, or chicken and a biscuit?
Well, I was thinking on this one,
Hmm.
and if it's to eat on their own,
Yeah.
Cheez-Its or chicken in the basket. If you're just gonna, eat them by hand, just like potato chips, yeah.
Mm.
Ritz and Triscuits, especially Triscuits, you got to have something on the Triscuit.
Oh yeah.
It's just too dry, too fibery.
Mm.
Wheat thins I can eat by themselves, but what's really good on wheat thin is some cream cheese or some flavored cream cheese.
Ah,
You
okay.
just you just kind of take it, just a little smear across the top of it. That's really
Mm.
good. And Ritz, if I'm doing a canapé of something, everything goes best on a Ritz. It's true. It
Mm.
really is true. But it just has to be soft enough to spread. Because
Mm.
then, if it's not
That
soft
would
enough
go
to
great.
spread, then Triscuit would be your next choice.
Yeah.
Because those things you can barely gnaw through them.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Cheez-Its, I used to like when I was younger. I don't know if it's changed or whatever, but they're just too dry for me. No thanks. Ritz, I used to love Ritz mostly because we had to buy the cheap Ritz, the generic Ritz. But when I could afford the real things, girl, those were
So
like the
so
it
buttery,
cracker.
so buttery,
Yep.
and they also make a real good either coating,
Mhm.
like if you're frying up something,
Yep.
you put those on the outside or across the top of a casserole. That works really
Yeah.
good. That's
Oh,
good
I,
too.
I I can just sit and eat Ritz all by themselves. Wheat thins are good for like if you're calorie counting and stuff. They're not bad. Triscuits, I don't know. I don't no thank you. I don't mind them if they have something really, like you said, a good topping on them. Otherwise, no. And
Well,
chicken biscuit, what?
well, uh, around during I think it was the 60s and 70s when everybody was into fiber,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where. And I'm surprised that they still are around. I really am.
Hmm. And then chicken and a biscuit, oh my gosh, I can just chow down on those. When I was a little kid, that was my great grandmother's favorite treat, and we would sit in bed, and every night she would just sneak a few of those to me before I went to sleep. It was so good.
Well, and I checked the box, and it does not say it's just one serving, but it has to be. I just don't know how it's not.
Yeah. Uh,
It's one serving.
and hey, Chubbs, Timothy wants to know if you owned a food truck, what kind of food would you sell?
Oh, I don't know.
I,
That's a tough one
yeah.
because the stuff I make that I do really well isn't really like food truck kind of food.
Hmm.
You
Well,
know,
we could hire. It just says if we owned a food truck, so we don't have to necessarily make the food ourselves.
making the food. Why would you own a food truck and then what? Lease it out to people? That was the point of that.
No, you hire a chef and then sit there
Oh,
and
girl.
get the
You
money.
you don't know, you don't understand how food trucks work. If you hire, you're not making
I
any money
understand how
off of
business
it if you hire a chef
Uh-huh.
right there. It's because you and your mom are working this truck together to make money.
Oh, well, then that's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm buying stuff from Costco and reselling it on in individual packets then. Um,
See, I think I probably would do tacos, but like street tacos,
uh,
because people will pay a lot of money for street tacos, which are like this big.
yeah.
I mean, and then you fold them over. They're like 3 bites, but if you put really good things on them, they'll pay money for them. So, and they're fun. They're easy to make, and if you can have all the stuff you're going to put in done, so you're not you can have that on before you even the night before. You can chop lettuce and tomatoes and onions and cilantro and everything you need, and have your meats ready in the morning. And then all you really are doing is heating it up with cheese. You put down the little tortilla, flip it once, put cheese on it, and then put your meat sauce in it, and then you put it in a little rack that becomes that it forms to, and you kind of get tacos like you get at Jim Boy's, kind of, but they're smaller. That's probably what I would do, and then have like rice and beans as a sidekick thing.
I think I would do things like deep fried desserts and shit like that.
Okay, so remember, it's going to get hot in there.
Yeah, well, that's nice, but
Okay.
that's what I would want to do.
Okay, so like fair food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, fair corn dogs are just magical. I don't know what they do to them, but they're beautiful. All right. And then, hey Chubs, botanical garden or art museum?
Botanical garden.
I'd probably go art museum, but gardens are nice too.
Well, it would be, I mean, if it's like, it's the whatchamacallit, Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, I would probably go to that. But just standard museums kind of bore me. But I love a good botanical garden. Usually they have a butterfly area where they're just, where you walk in and the butterflies are landing on you. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
And wonderful smells. And usually they have that one plant that smells like rotting meat that blooms
Oh,
once
yeah.
every 100 years. That's always
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, it's still yeah, that's where and usually botanical gardens are kind of cooler than your standard garden area, because they're just different. Yeah, botanical.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, Timothy, for those questions. Really appreciate them. Those were good. All right. Well, what's in your lunchbox? Mr. Moose wrote in and said, here's what's in my box. Made with coconut. Oh, wait, hold on. For some reason, it's displaying kind of odd for me. But we have made with made a pot of Thai red curry beef, made with coconut milk and lots of red pepper.
Looks good.
Yeah.
What?
I was just checking to make sure that you were seeing it, because it's displaying weird for me. Okay, here's a Malaysian green beans with chicken, very spicy and delicious.
Yum.
Ordered banana rolls again. They are so good. Crispy wonton wraps around banana and fried. The heat makes the banana so sweet. I'm curious about it, but at the same time, I just don't know what to think.
I'm gonna make those. Sean, my problem is Sean doesn't like bananas.
Okay.
So
He doesn't like bananas.
well, okay, you want to talk about his mother and the
Oh,
to serve him?
Never mind.
This is this is what happens when, it's funny because when I was in the weight program, they were constantly going, Oh, basically, well, one day they brought in the psychologist, and she's like going, so what you really need to do is find out why you're fat. What did your mother do? And it's like,
Oh,
oh my God, you know what my mother did was she didn't hit me when I went back for thirds, that would probably be and with Sean, he just hated his mother's cooking.
hmm.
And I've talked to his sister, and they both agree that it was horrible.
Huh.
They got a lot of Hamburger Helper. It wasn't actually Hamburger Helper. That probably would have been better, but it was beef stroganoff. His mother used to make that,
Hmm.
and who doesn't love beef stroganoff? Well, if it's bad, I guess you don't, because I can't make beef stroganoff
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mr.
either.
Levine makes a good stroganoff.
I make a good stroganoff, but I
Uh-huh.
can't. Anyway, so that's and I understand, but I can, and the thing is, you just can't buy one banana either. I mean, you
Mhm.
can, but you feel stupid.
Yeah.
So I guess I could get two and make two of those, because I have the
I've
egg
got
roll wrappers right now.
I usually get a bunch of bananas, and I have a couple, but I get them for mom because they're good potassium and everything and easy to eat. She's gotten to the point she won't eat them anymore. So if I'm gonna get bananas, I get 3 bananas and I make sure I eat them.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but
yeah, and at Costco you can get 3 pounds of bananas for 99 cents.
wow, that's
So eh,
incredible.
so that's the other thing is, if you're going to get them at Costco, I know I'm going to end up with 3 fucking pounds of bananas that I'm not going to be able to use. I could probably do that and then just make up banana bread instead of waiting
Yeah,
for them to go bad.
yeah,
Just chop them up, put them in, and make banana bread and banana cookies. And then
I've done that.
he wouldn't eat any of it. So there you go. Oh, and I'm making a call out to Nephi.
Okay,
Nephi,
wait,
you
okay, you froze for a sec. Wait,
can't.
yeah, hopefully it's recording what you're saying because you're just frozen right now. And is it gonna
To
unfreeze?
see it. I know he's going to love it.
There we go. Okay. You froze, so I'm not even sure what you said.
No, you froze.
No, you froze.
Okay, I didn't get a warning. Anyway, I've asked Nephi to get you a copy of "Come From Away"
Oh, okay.
because you're going to love it. You're going to be
Okay,
amazed by it. You're going to be amazed by the talent of the cast, if nothing else,
cool.
and the diversity of the cast. That's the other thing. It's 12 people, and there's one guy that I could play the role. He's my
Oh,
age. He's my weight. There's young people, there's older people. It's You're just going to be
yeah,
shocked.
I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it.
Okay, anyway,
Oh,
so what is this thing that he's
well,
making
wait,
you?
before
Oh,
what, I was gonna say one thing, the whole, what did your mother do to you, whatever. I've went to a therapist once for my weight problem, and they basically just looked at me and said, "You're trying to commit suicide. You're slowly trying to kill yourself because you don't love yourself." And I'm just like, fuck you. I'm not coming back because you're a quack. Anyway, let's see. Okay, next up, sorry, bringing all that up in Mr. Moose's stuff here, but it's Fish Friday. Would
okay, it's fish. What kind? What kind?
But too hot for a heavy meal, so a side of cantaloupe. I don't know. It didn't say, just fish. Fish Friday. Whatever that fish is, I will have some, please.
Yeah, it looks good.
Wonderful.
I
Uh,
just love he's got such good breading. He really does.
yeah. Beef and snow peas for lunch. First time ordering this. Usually get chicken, but this was better with mushrooms and water chestnut. I really like water chestnuts.
I really hate them.
I put them in my stuffing, like whole ones, because my mom's
Ugh.
like, I like the whole ones. So I always get like big old water chestnuts for my stuffing.
Yeah, they what I was at a party one time, and they had the bacon wrapped water chestnuts,
Oh,
which
I've never
I
had.
had never had. I had never had before. So I bit into it, and it made a really loud noise, as they do. It's when they're not cooked. And the person standing next to me goes, "What was that?" And I go, "I don't know, but I'm going to leave it here behind the flower arrangement. Don't get that one, whatever it is."
Rightly so.
Yeah.
All right. Golden Rule Services want you to know about an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. PrEP is a medication proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, visit sacgrs.org. Find Tom's other podcasts at swannerandjudd.com. Find my books over at justkisstheguy.com. Find all our links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
anticipation.
No, I was frozen, so you didn't feel bad.
Yeah, you were frozen. Well, our hearts are not open. So, all right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Oh, hey.
What?
What'd
you forget?
when we got that drag queen name,
Yeah.
Okay, one of the ones I came up with was Superb. Get it?
Oh, that's what that was written up there for.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Superb. That's funny. Superb.
Yeah, Sean didn't like into butt.
Well,
and you froze there for a moment there again. So
I'm
we better
sure
go.
he did.
Yeah. No, he does. Shut up. Okay.
All
well,
right.
thank you. I'll see you next week. Love you.
Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.